I went with this primer because it is both hydrating, so it will withstand a lot of makeup going on top of it. It's this kind of theatrical look, but it is also slightly pearlescent, so from beneath it I'll get a little bit of that ethereal glow I'm kind of going for a Völva look. You can see it's super glowy even without a highlighter already. I'm doing kind of a lot of concealer because I want it to be really brightening. I want a lot of contrast. I'm going to do it pretty lit up, which once I have the rest of the theatrical stuff going down my face, it's not going to look nearly as dramatic as it does right now. I'm going to set this with the Revolution Luxury Baking Powder, which is really, really wonderful for the price. The concealer on my chin is actually going to act as a base for some of what is going to go, some of the more tribal designs that are going to go on it. So from here, we're going to go in with my NYX contour palette that I use in like every video. And I'm going to do a really mild contour. And I'm not going to do a whole lot. It's not going to be super severe just because we're going to do a lot with designs on my face after this, so we just don't want it to overpower it. But I do just want to carve a little bit of shape. So then I'm going to go back into the setting powder. Although it's a nice like contour, I do kind of still want it to cut a little bit harder than this. So I'm going to take setting powder up underneath that contour and we're just going to lighten it up a little bit right under there to highlight. So I don't know completely where I'm going today, but I am definitely starting with, instead of wearing a circlet for this shoot, I am actually going to take this troll cross. That is a troll cross. I talk about this more in some of my Grimfrost videos, but the troll cross is actually a protective element, and because this is kind of a Völva shoot, I've been planning this for a really long time, so we are going to stick that here. I'm going to put a bit more of the primer right on the center of my forehead. And while that dries down, I'm gonna do this in some layers to make sure that it stays. And I haven't tested this before. I just really think it's gonna work based on these products. I wanna do this first only because I kind of want to base my whole makeup look over this so it's not super overpowered or anything like that. When I say overpowered, it's gonna be a whole lot, but I still want it all to flow, so I think it's really important this goes on my head first. So I'm starting with a Q-tip, and I'm just putting a layer of Duo on this troll cross. And it is made of iron. I don't want it directly on my skin, so I thought putting a thin layer on it and then letting it dry, and then applying another layer, maybe letting that dry too, just so it's really well coated, and then actually applying the layer that will stick to my forehead. By doing it first, I also have the ability to see if it's going to stick through the makeup process at the very least. If it's not sticking through makeup, it's not going to stick while we're shooting, so I kind of want to test it too. So I figured it'd be best to do it first. So we're going to let that sit. So I went ahead and I covered my eyelids in concealer as a primer, just because it's going to be a little bit more extreme. I want something a little bit that sticks a little bit better than just eyeshadow primer. So this black is actually one of the pigment colors, and I'm using like a really short, dense brush, and I'm really packing that color on, but this is one of the best blacks I think I've ever used, and black is easily one of my most used eyeshadow colors, and it might look a little bit chalky with the light, but there is no fallout whatsoever. So then I'm actually going to go into a red and blend the edges all the way on the outside of the black. So before I move on to the wig, we're gonna do accessories, where I have the troll cross on my forehead. We're also gonna do one as a choker. So the whole point is to be a Norse shaman, or Völva, which is the technical term for it. So I'm doing a lot of symbols, a lot of very like archaic, ritualized looking makeup, and obviously I'm also playing into like the fantasy that is the Viking show, and even kind of taking from like the very extreme aesthetic of the seers in the show have. And I thought these bones were perfect. These are from Poking Dead Things, who you'll actually see a video from me on this company soon. One of my very closest friends is the artist, and she makes amazing jewelry. So yeah, I thought that matched really well. So now that the basic accessories are on, I'm gonna move on to the wig. So you wanna comb out any tangles really well. I part it all the way down the back. You wanna do very, very tight braids all the way down. They need to be tight more than they really need to be neat. You don't want them to be super messy so that they're bulky, but if they're a little bit messy, it really doesn't matter because they're not going to be showing anyways. You're going to braid those all the way down. I use very tiny rubber bands just so they don't add any kind of bulk underneath the wig. Then I take these braids and I wrap them up around my head. I just want to pin that into place. So I'm bringing the braid around and then folding that tail back down and then pinning upward. And you're going to need a couple on each side, and it does not have to be perfect. You can see this craziness over here. It doesn't need to be perfect, but it just needs to be up. I always loop around the back and then scoop into the front. And then you just want to tuck all of your hair into the hair cap. And then I always take and just like flatten the braids down under that cap. And then you're gonna take your wig, make sure it's fairly combed out. Use the straps and pull it down around your scalp. Little straps that allow you to hook the wig into itself to keep it a little bit better. Before I secure it, I always like to comb them out a little bit. And then this is glue. I'm gonna take this just so it stays a little bit better. So that you can like fix your ears around where the glue sits. I also like to take a little bit of dry shampoo. This definitely takes down some of like the shininess. It makes it look just a little bit more realistic. That's pretty much it. That is like the most basic, easy way you can put on a wig. You can't really get much easier than this. I can already feel this wig glue sticking so well, so it's like not moving around while we shoot. Other than that, let me know if this worked for you. Let me know if you tried it. Make sure you like and subscribe, and thank you guys so much for watching.